Hi everyone. Just think we need to do a bit of a sound check. Online people, can you hear us okay? Welcome to London. You good? Okay. Yeah, people in the room. Welcome to EPAM. Welcome to the London segment of our Global Business Analysis Conference. For those non-EPAMers, my name is John Story, so please do call me John. There's Jonathan, but all EPAMers know only my mother calls me Jonathan now, so please, I won't respond. But no, it's really good to see everyone in the room. As I said, this is the London segment of our online conference. You may well have seen we've already been online and in the rooms in Hyderabad, Tbilisi, and obviously now London. So really good to see everyone. So, does my lightsaber work? Yes. So, as I've just said, one day, 3 regions, 11 talks altogether. Yeah, and as well, this is my segment. It's very small, so I just want to take this opportunity to thank Darina for orchestrating all this. And at the end of it, she's going to go and lie down in the dark room for a very long time and just get over it. So thank you, Darina. So yeah, 11 talks across the day, and I think we've got four for you today. So our conference, what it's about, three themes, and not just for our business analysis conference, but I guess for EPAM generally. 3 areas, client centricity as we call it. So what's that? It's how do we uncover the real business need? How do we balance the need to increase customer satisfaction, the need for innovation, the need to run a sustainable business? Industry expertise. How do we use that deep domain knowledge to tailor solutions that are going to maximize business value? Obviously, they're going to work together. And obviously AI enablement. Our chief exec says we've got to surf the wave. How are we going to surf the wave? Leverage AI to enhance decision making, productivity, and how do we take that forward? Okay, so three areas for us, and this is my favorite quote. Generally, Ralph Marston, he's a motivational speaker, and normally I tend not to pay too much attention to that kind of stuff because I'm a bit of an old dinosaur, but this one is excellent. So excellence is not a skill, it's an attitude. It's about behaviors, and I guess people in this room and online displaying the right behaviors, otherwise we wouldn't be here at the end of a working day, would we? So please continue with that excellence attitude, if I can call it that. So what's in it for you? Gone through the 3 themes. So rewrite the rules, embrace AI. So we say surf that wave, otherwise it's going to wash you away. So the future of business analysis is going to transform businesses and transform the role of the business analyst. So it's all about the future there. Talk about domain knowledge, client centricity. So we need to increase the impact we make on the business by using all of these tools. I guess finally, connect, unlock the power of the community. I guess again, that's why we're here. To learn from each other, to connect, and to make new connections and understand what's going on in the outside world, so to speak. So, our speakers and agenda, and again, thank you for coming. So this is what happened in Hyderabad, the 4 talks we had. Tbilisi, and again, we'll give these slides to you later. London, here we are. And I love the first talk, Bindu. You would have thought we'd have planned it, obviously, given what's happened with M&S and been in the news recently. How BA strengthen security. Excellent topic for us. Ajit talking about domain insights, focused insights through advanced business analysis, energy and utilities. Mo, welcome. Be 21.3% more productive. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah. And then Barry Cranston's going to come in and talk about customer client centricity. So that's what we're going to do today. Any questions, comments so far?
John, let's move to interesting stuff.
Okay. Sorry?
Let's move to interesting things.
Move to interesting things.
Yeah, the Bindu.
Yeah. Please start.
Yeah, I think we're already on air, so we can.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, should I give a short introduction? So,
Yes, please.
yeah. So, Bindu, thank you for joining us. For everybody who didn't have a chance to check the speakers' profiles, so Bindu is more than 15 years in business analysis consulting and especially cybersecurity. And all of you heard that, especially after AI, raising in power, the number of cybersecurity threats and actually risks have raised, I guess, exponentially. And the problems that we are having in our digital world with cybersecurity are immense. So that's why cybersecurity is expected to grow more than 20% a year annually, during the next couple of years. And with AI, and even I think quantum computing as well, joining into this pack, we're going to have even more challenges. So welcome, Bindu, also regional director of IABA. So thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Are we all BAs here in the room? Or mostly? Or should I say, do we all use BA skills? Because BA role is kind of in the gray area. So, okay. And online, all of us are BAs again, or at least people who use skills. Okay. So I will touch it. Thank you.
Better online?
Yeah. Is that okay? Fine. Okay. Yes. So as part of my work, I've been kind of talking about cybersecurity in the last 6 to 7 years. Probably now I hear a lot of you saying, oh, it's important, this happened, that happened. But trust me, 5, 6 years back, I was probably one of the very few voices who were telling, do you know cybersecurity is also linked with business analysis? And very few people would attend the session, or then again, really didn't understand. But at the end of the session, oh yes, now we understand. I'm really glad that it's taking momentum. So as part of this work, I've been working to put the IIBA certification together. And last year, I've just written a book as well. I'm going to show the book in a minute for you all. I'm not selling, by the way. I would like you all to kind of maybe browse, just to kind of get, because we have a 30-minute session and we won't be able to cover everything, but just to kind of get the scope of it, maybe you could have a look as well. As part of this work, yes, I'm currently keenly advocating that every BA should be aware of cybersecurity. Okay, whether we all have to, but at the moment, I'm on a mission. And that's exactly why I take these opportunities to come and share about this awareness. And from there, your journey starts, how you want to explore. As I was just talking to Jem as well earlier, and she was telling me today, BA is kind of so diversified. So again, how we can continue on this journey as well. It is something for you to kind of pick up later on. So, is cybersecurity a technical or a non-technical subject?
Both.
Both. Sorry, anybody different? Yes, it is a multidisciplinary subject or topic. Okay, if I were speaking with a developer, they would say, yeah, of course it is all technical. That's what we provide. If I'm speaking to a compliance person, they say, oh, it's all about the regulations. So now you're all BAs. What do you think cybersecurity is? Sorry?
I'd say both technical and regulation.
Technical and regulation, okay.
Keeping your data
Keeping your
Data
data protected. Thank you. Yes,
business continuity.
absolutely. And in BA world, there's no right and wrong answer. So please feel free. Yes, absolutely. Of course. Anything else? Securing our products along with the data, how we interact with the product. So all of this again, it's the scope is a lot. Do you currently include cybersecurity within your BA work? No? Should you be doing? Depends. Yes, I like that answer. Can you elaborate?
I'm just thinking from a data perspective.
Yeah.
I think how data is managed and how it's used.
Yeah.
One of the areas which is now becoming a key conversation that developers talk about is security, right from start, rather than having to think about security at the end.
Yeah.
So
Secure by design.
design.
Yes. Yeah.
So from that perspective, I think there's a little bit of that.
Okay, so you said, I'm just kind of understanding, the developers are talking about that. Well, from a BA perspective, do you collaborate with the cybersecurity team? No. Okay. So the answer to the previous one is it's not included at the moment. And if at all, if you were doing, I would like to understand what's the scale. Okay. So are they our stakeholders or not?
Yeah. Cybersecurity team.
Cybersecurity team.
I would say yes.
Hold that thought. If you have doubts, hold that thought. Probably we will address that by end of this session. What is business analysis? It's a BA. So come on, I need everybody to answer this question. In one word, please. What does business analysis mean to you?
Change.
Transformation, change, transformation.
Transformation, change.
I think it's analysis or start to finish, but actually you have to work the way back from a consumer's perspective to how they are entering your business, interacting with your business. Do they come fully secured, whether they are going to your web page or your financial services product, you know, if they're using their phone, where are they, you know, are they secure? Cybersecurity attacks usually come from outside, not within an organization.
Thanks, that was a really long word. Okay, anybody else? Is that all? We are all BAs. Come on, I really need. This is the first session.
What you're still worried, one would be enablement or be a change agent.
Okay, yes. Anybody online? Are they responding? Or not? Anybody on this?
Know the business.
Know the business? Okay, yeah.
So business problems.
Solve business problems, yes. Fantastic. Stakeholder management, yes. Thank you. You want to give it a shot?
Details.
Okay, detail oriented.
Yeah.
Shall we say that?
We have one answer from online, which is change catalyst.
Change catalyst. Thank you. Well done. Okay. Anybody else?
Understanding business needs and finding solutions to business.
Okay. So now we all picked up words or sentences. Is there one word which can encapsulate everything? So there cannot be change without stakeholder engagement or process management or detail oriented. But can we find one word which encapsulates all the things that we are doing here?
The enablement one.
Enablement one? Change? Okay.
That's part of the Bindu definition, right?
Business analysis is a responsibility. Do we all agree with that? if it is not a responsibility, we might not be doing accurately all the things that we are expected to do. Because there is an undocumented trust. Okay, do we have the laser? No. Okay. Because we have an undocumented trust between a business analyst and their client. Because the decisions are made based on our analysis. Yes or no? If our analysis is incomplete, is the decision right? If analysis is incorrect, is the decision right? So now, if we miss out a stakeholder, is our analysis complete? No. Exactly. So then why don't we include cybersecurity stakeholders? That means whatever the analysis we are delivering is incomplete. At least that's a good place to start, isn't it? Okay. Here is again a generational view of how the cybersecurity mindset or the role and the tech involved. How many of you are from the classic BA time? Okay. No judgment there. Yeah. Okay. So again, the tech was not much involved because we were calling them as purist BA, where they were talking about the business itself. And there was no data, but there was information. And the language was information and not data then. But the second generation transitional BAs, that's again where even I started my career as a systems analyst developer, where I used to understand the business knowledge and also design the systems, the database, develop as a coder, deliver it, train the users, and then move on to another client. So which means an end-to-end. And again, there tech was involved. That is when we started again from a BA perspective purely. And next generation, the agile, then technology became moderate. And we started using non-functional requirements and role-based access. But today, cybersecurity is strategic and embedded. So if it is embedded, if it is strategic, why as BAs we just limit it to non-functional requirements or to the cybersecurity teams or the IT teams only? Why is it not part of our role? Making you think. So before we actually get into the details, we need to clearly understand what is the role of a business analyst and what is the role of a cybersecurity analyst. So they are at the two ends of the spectrum. If we start including cybersecurity, we are not going to become the cybersecurity analysts. Their scope and the work they do is completely on the other end of the spectrum, where they look at the technical solutions, they will look at the systems, everything, and they analyze that. But whereas we will still remain as business analysts, but we will have enough knowledge so that, or a foundational knowledge, so that we can start having those conversations. In the previous slide where we saw from a transitional BA, all the BAs had to actually understand about technology. When we say technology, what is a database? What is a data field? Basic information so that we could speak to the technical teams. Exactly the same way today, we will have to learn that cybersecurity knowledge, and so that we can include that within our analysis. So what is that knowledge? The core BA skills will still remain as is. That will never change. Our analysis will still be the same thing, but the scope of our analysis changes. That means we are including another team, another set of stakeholders, and we're going to look at some other information as well. And what is that security knowledge is what we'll be gaining, but we're not going to become the experts. The experts will sit outside. Like if we are working in an insurance domain, we might not be the experts. Subject matter experts will be somebody else, SMEs. But we will have just enough information, and when we need, we will go to them and get that information. So similarly, as cybersecurity, we will not be the experts. So what is that knowledge that we will be gaining? Exposure to the speak, how we extend our BA tools and techniques to include security, so that we can incorporate it holistically in our work, in our day-to-day BA activities, embedding cybersecurity in all stages of the project. And when I say cybersecurity, the whole thing, where it has data as well within it. So again, people, process, security, all the regulations, GDPR, for example, auditing, business continuity, and so on and so forth. Does this make sense? So I'm going to introduce two key aspects of security here, so that when you go back tomorrow, you can at least start implementing in your own work as a first step. And then also I will share some of the information where you can expand as well. So what does security mean? What do you understand by the word security? Yeah, protect something. Sorry, say that again. Prevent, yes.
Limit access.
Limit access, okay.
Giving access to people that need access.
Yeah, limit access or grant access, okay. So we are talking about access management here. Anybody else? Fundamentally, what is security? Keeping something safe. Yes. So when will you protect something? Thank you. Who said that? You said that. Thank you very much. And that's exactly what NIST also defines. The state of being free from danger or a threat. Only that is valuable. So when we don't know what crown jewels as an organization we are holding, what is the crown jewels, by the way, of our organization? Data. So until we understand the value of the data that we are holding, how will we try to protect it if we don't know what is the value? Make sense? So security is all about protection of the value against its risks, vulnerabilities, and threats. Does that mean we will have to mitigate every risk, every threat, every vulnerability to make our products secure?
I think we have to prioritize as always, right?
Yes.
It's an ongoing process. So you secure it. You move on and technologies change. It's review. So you review all the time. That's where you review security all the time to see what new changes need to be made. So it's a continual thing. So you can't always enough these things happening. Continue review of the process procedures that you use to secure.
Yes. So as VAs, when we are developing, we are adding value, we prioritize. We cannot give everything. So which means similarly, security is not 100%, or it's not perfect. Security doesn't exist. So with life, we take all the precaution, but still anything can happen. But a good security is making it harder and expensive for the attacker. We are creating more layers, more boundaries. That even if somebody is coming to attack, we are making it harder. And at the same time, we are proactively defending it. So by the time they get in with all those layers, we know how to defend. And I know some of you were taking MNS example. Harun's is again another example where they proactively defended it, again, quite recently in the news. Okay, does this make sense? So when we are working on products, it doesn't mean that 100% security, but we need to be mindful about. So as BAs, what can we do? We can identify all the risks and again provide so that whoever is the decision maker can decide how far we need to go to secure our products based on the value, based on our crown jewels. The second key aspect, very, very important. And if you look at the incidents, okay, why the data breaches are happening or the ransom attacks are happening, this is one of the key causes. What does cybersecurity mindset mean? Take a guess, doesn't matter. As I said, there's no right or wrong answer here.
People want to disregard the importance
Yes.
actually basically really thinking through and adopting.
Yes, yes. Thank you.
Designing systems with cybersecurity in mind as well.
Yeah. Thank you. Any other?
Shaping new ideas, requirements against cybersecurity aspects. If there's something new that it brings to it.
Yeah. They're all absolutely true. But at a foundational level, cybersecurity mindset is something we can understand with a very simple example. How many of you use bikes? Okay. Is that the way you park, to a pole or a rack, or where do you park? In the bike stand, right? Okay. And that's the round loop lock that is used. So we have parked the bike. Yes, we have. There's a tick box. Is it locked? Yes, it is locked. Is that the right lock? Yes, it's the right lock. Now the important question, is the bike safe?
No.
Obviously. Obviously. This is exactly what happens. GDPR, yes, we have all the boxes ticked. Then what happens? Security mindset is the foundation. Understanding what your crown jewels are and having this mindset. So once we have this mindset, doesn't matter where in the project life cycle we are, we will have that additional pair of glasses where we just don't tick the boxes, we actually make it secure. And that includes the staff as well, as you were pointing it out. Why people? Because they really don't understand what's the importance of the activity that they are doing. Does it make sense? Okay, again, technology progression. Why are we in this situation? Again, I come from the generation where that was my first computer. And actually, I saw some of those monitors when I entered the reception. Oh, it was nostalgic. So security was very easy then. Okay, I used to use a floppy disk, and if it got corrupted, I would replace with another floppy disk with antivirus, and boom, everything was perfect. And I could repeat it. I could take the same antivirus and load it on all other systems. But today, how are we transacting? We have expanded so much. And as we expand, what happens? The more technology expands, the more vulnerable the ecosystem gets. If you actually take a moment, take a project, on some evenings when you have nothing interesting, start thinking about what all things can break. And I can guarantee, I can challenge you, you will stay days together and still it will be incomplete. Because that is the expand that we have really, really expanded today. Which is good, and I always say, technology and cybersecurity are two ends of the stick. You can't pick up just one end of the stick, can we? When we pick up one, the other end obviously comes up. So wherever there is technology, by default, security should be there. And because we are missing this perspective, we have all the incidents. So next time when you hear or read about the incidents, just get into the details and have a look. It will come down to this: risk overlooked or risk mismanaged. Why? Because we didn't see the value or we didn't have a security mindset. As simple as that. Okay, what can BS do? As I said, this is a 30-minute session. We cannot include everything, but remember, no matter what you're doing, have that security mindset and think, how can I extend my tools, my techniques, whatever I'm doing? But one of the key technique I'm going to share with you. We all write personas, right? As part of our BA work, okay? A bank user or a retail website user, we write intended user. Oh, this could be a retail website. We have, I don't know, women 30 to 40 years. This is how it should be. This is what her lifestyle is, blah, 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 right? How many of us create personas on unintentional and wrong intentional users? Anybody here?
mostly focusing on the intention.
Intended, exactly. So you have the intended persona. So now can you tell me what are the things that follows from an intended personas?
I mean, they are using the main functionality, right? They're
Okay,
using
so-
the product right.
Exactly. So what do you do as part of the BA work? We write-
Analyze their needs, develop
Right.
the functionality in the product,
Yeah,
based on their needs,
So-
and delivering the value for them.
exactly. So as a BA, what is the work that we do? We write requirements.
Yeah.
Basically,
We develop the process.
we develop the process, we write the requirements. We also write the alternate scenarios. One scenario, what happens, alternate scenarios, right? And all the requirements. So if we don't have anything for unintentional and wrong intentional users, can you see the space that we have left? If we have an unintentional, and you will see what they are exactly, and wrong intentional user personas, then what happens from those personas? Obviously, you will have requirements, obviously, or you will have scenarios, alternate scenarios, which means you're closing the gap and making it harder for the intruder. Yes or no? Yeah. So some of the examples of unintentional and wrong intentional users is an unaware user. Accidents happen. They didn't intend to do it that way, but yes, it still happens. I didn't know the system would do this, but it happened. Okay, again, insider threat. That is a big one. External hacker, and of course, an uninformed executive, as an example. So when you go back tomorrow, just look at your requirements, look at all the scenarios, and just say, okay, what can go wrong there? Who can create situations there? And start including it. Okay, as a start. So again, we just touched today the security and the business analysis mindset, again, at a very, very top level. There's a lot into it. And we also looked at the personas here. So there are these 10 aspects, which is a framework that I've actually explained in the book, why and how a BA can include to ensure that we can embed security in our work, no matter what we do across the project lifecycle. Okay. How many of you use IIBA knowledge areas or WCAM? Yes. So there's also a chapter which talks about how we can extend that as well to include security. Okay, and again, like as I said, going forward, if you need more information, cybersecurity for businessanalysts.com. It is again a space that I have created where there are a lot of free webinars, free articles, podcast bites. They are all free workshops. There will be some masterclasses free sometimes, but there are training, paid training, and the book you can get at a discount price. Along with this, there's a lot of other resources that you can go. The top one is again IIBA certification, cybersecurity analysis. And all of this again will give you a lot of information on cybersecurity and risk, so that get yourself acquainted with that. More links, research and reporting, all the new incidents that you hear, okay, and the analysis of those incidents, magazines, all of that this is a very good resource as well. Finally, there's a lot of resource gaps or the vacancy that needs to be filled for cybersecurity. And especially now with the AI, things are also in flux. So which means there is a huge responsibility on us to kind of embed security into our day-to-day work. And should you choose to take your career or pivot your career in a different way, as we saw earlier, from a business analyst to a cybersecurity analyst, that also is a career progression if you choose to, because there's a lot of room to grow there as well. And as long as there's technology, there will be cybersecurity. So as long as that is there, there'll be work for us as well. Again, finally, both business analysis and security go beyond the titles. They are responsibility. Thank you very much. end, if you have any questions or anything, please feel free to reach out to me at any point in time.
I think we have some time for questions before the next session starts.
Okay?
So we can start from some questions from the audience. We also have some questions online. And if no one here, I can start from the first questions that we have here. And yes, we're just trying to figure out
That's
which
fine.
of them is the.
Last question.
Yeah,
What is
please.
the crossover between the business analyst versus the cybersecurity analyst? Like, how much do you need to understand and know to hand over the project to them to say, this is what your responsibility is?
So as PAs, what do we do currently with the technical team? We write the requirements and we hand over the requirements to the technical team. And the same thing goes with the cybersecurity team as well. Because we again, when it comes to technical, we don't write the technical solutions. We just say the system should do this way.
Right.
Similarly, we say the system should be secure, or the data should be secure. Why? Because these are the reasons. So we just, the same handoffs, writing requirements, but it's just that we shouldn't miss the requirements. And we miss the requirements because we don't have the personas to start with. So once we have that, we will have all the scenarios as well, and we will have the requirements, and that we will hand over.
So is understanding at a fairly high level of security sufficient, or do you feel like you need to understand a whole lot about security?
No, that is why I said the very first step, the first diagram I showed is, again, there's a long journey to understand security. It is completely, the solutions are technical, but the requirements, they are not technical. Because how we secure, we don't know. See, we say we need a product where the user has to do something. How we are going to provide the solution is, again, the technical team will decide, the data team will decide, and the developers will develop it based on, again, a lot of other factors. Similarly, when it comes to security as well, we say it has to be secure for whatever the reasons, and we hand over at that level. Yes.
Just a follow-up to this question. When you find these roles online, there are lots of requirements that BA should have, especially as regards cybersecurity. So if you see a typical cybersecurity business analyst role, it's like a cybersecurity analyst role.
Yes.
And I think the more the job market is a little bit competitive, the more there is demand on PA to actually get real cybersecurity certifications or real cybersecurity experience. So coming back to what he has said, at what point do you really, is it that as you continue your journey, at some point you find yourself inside cybersecurity doing a lot more because the market also wants you to have that level of experience or level of insight into cybersecurity? So because for me that's the reality really. This role starts as just understand requirements and pass it over. But the job market is a different world. You're seeing, you're not just going to be passing requirements, you need to actually be the one doing assessment. You need to have certain certifications in cybersecurity to actually sit on that role. So I don't know if you have.
Yes. Again, that is where clearly I had to distinguish the two roles. Okay, so today there's a VA, okay, who's working, who understands technology, and they might decide, I think I like to work a lot of data, and they transition or they work towards becoming a data analyst. Right? Or maybe they might transform into a system architect because they understand more on the systems. So similarly, as a BA, once you start understanding security, you can still move to become a cybersecurity analyst. That's exactly the kind of role that you're explaining. So but that means as a BA, I have to include data in my work. When I say data, again, not at the solution level, but what the data entails. Similarly, I will also include now solution or the security. As very first, we clearly established that if we don't include security, it is incomplete analysis. So as a PA, we have to deliver it, but if that is your calling, that is what you would like to take your career to, obviously, and that's exactly I said, this will be the first step. Because if you don't even include, you don't even know. So the first step is to start including, again, for two reasons. One is to understand more, and the other thing is the responsibility to deliver complete analysis. So from there are a lot many certifications, and the journey is different because that's purely, the scope is different. The work they do is different. Answer your question?
Yes.
Thanks. Any other questions? Yes.
this is a little bit outside of this. So it is mostly AI.
Yeah.
So with the onset of AI, people creating their own large language models.
Yeah.
Internally, what's your opinion in terms of how that would change the landscape of what the BI actually does and what they know in terms of having to get not an expert, but having to understand AI and how that impacts the cybersecurity and just the knowledge, similar to what you're talking about in terms of how the BA should understand basics or the high knowledge about cybersecurity. Now you know AI, how does that actually now work together?
Yeah, thanks. Very good question. Without AI, there's no presentation complete. So yeah, AI is, again, from my perspective, it's another tool. Okay, I remember probably a decade back, in every client or whomever I worked with, Agile is the silver bullet. Agile solves the problem. Agile is only a methodology. You apply it and you solve it. So today, AI is another tool. Yes, it's a wave that all of us have to, as you were mentioning, John, that we all have to ride. But again, we have to understand that it is a tool and how we can use it. So when it comes to security, yes, it does a lot of help in terms of understanding the behaviors, in terms of doing a lot of data analysis, in terms of proactively, identifying what's happening rather than manually we do that. But again, that also comes with a lot of other layers where we will have to ensure the quality of our data. And the predictions is, again, there's no bias. So again, there's a lot of work. So in terms of AI, yes, it's not a silver bullet. That's my opinion. And I know even people who have worked in AI for the last 2 decades, from the beginning, they also don't know how it is shaping up. Because I always believe that more than AI, we need to understand how to use a tool. We have all given a tool where we don't even know the tool much and we don't even know how to use it. So we are all experimenting it. Things will work out, things may not work out. So it takes time for us to understand, but looking at what it is doing with the capability, it can do wonders. So it's all about how well we can use it.
I would add to we were talking earlier in the team meeting, that AI is effectively democratizing development. It's putting powerful tools in the hands of people like us. I mean, we had a competition where BAs and product managers were writing agents, or a battle of the agents, and it's almost spreading, giving that capability.
Yeah,
it's almost going wild, So that protecting those assets for any organisation is going to be absolutely key, because you are putting the tools in the hands of a lot more people.
And let's talk about talking to agents.
Well, yeah.
So
yeah, fundamentally, I think the right approach would be to, as users, we understand the responsibility first, how to use it, and then we use it. But again, we are not in an ideal world. Yes. Any other question? Or thank you so much.
Thank you.
For your time.